Hi, happy Monday, September 20th, 2021. I hope you all are having a great day here in the center of the country of USA. It is almost 100 degrees outside, so I am indoors where it's a little bit cooler. I hope you all are having a great month. It's almost fall. I'm looking forward to temperatures dramatically dropping tomorrow. Maybe we can all get outside and do a little gardening or something. So I'm trying to take it back to basics for everyone, especially those of you wearing masks and things. I know that it's horribly terrifying for you that you might have to take them off, but you have to know that you're not being told the truth on the TV. The news, they're not telling you anything that is truthful about these masks. And if you go to the store, I know I've said this before, if you go to the store and you look at the packaging, it says it will not protect you from any type of virus. It says that on the packaging. So whatever the news is saying, whatever they are saying, you have to know they are all saying the same thing in order to convince you. It's called the Mockingbird Media. There is an operation in effect for you to believe anything they say. This has been an ongoing thing since the media was developed back in the 50s, the 60s. Everything has been in order for you to believe them. Okay. So I found a video I'd like to share with you, and it sort of will show you what I'm talking about. So I know it's hard to believe, but it is happening. It has been happening. And this is from Odd TV. And I hope that you will share this with other people so we can get the word out. Again, I'm going back to the very basics of truth and knowledge. So every day I'll try to bring you a little bit more and a little bit more truth. But if you don't know what's going on, you really need to start with the basics. And that is the media. They all say the same thing. They are not going out and getting their own scripts. They are not going out and deciphering what news to tell. They are told. They are given the script to read to you. So your favorite media people, they are just regurgitating the same thing over and over and over again. Okay, so from Odd TV, let us look at this video called Media Monopoly.
Headley. And I'm Ryan Wolf. Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities, Mid-Michigan communities. We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces. But we are concerned about the trouble and irresponsible plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media. Unfortunately, some members of the media platforms push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what dangerous to our democracy.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Can you see that stations from all over the US They are saying the same exact thing. It doesn't matter if they're CBS, ABC, NBC, Fox, it doesn't matter. They all are given a script to read. These are not journalists that are going out and finding stories. These are people that are paid a lot of money to convince you of what they're saying is truthful, and they're trying to convince you that they can be trusted.
Extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Okay. What is extremely dangerous is thinking that we are in a democracy when we are a republic. So we are a republic. We are not a democracy.
Extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless on a birthday.
They say the same thing on every channel. That is what this video, and there are many others like it, are trying to point out. The same talking points, the same exact script delivered in almost the same way. These people are not creative. They just regurgitate. They are mockingbirds. They say the same thing in order to believe. They want you to believe and trust them.
Child's happiness is priceless, right? Especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday. Child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
Child's happiness is priceless, especially on their birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially when it comes to their birthday.
Absolutely. A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday. A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday. Well, a child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday. A child's smile is priceless, especially on a birthday. A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
You know, a child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless.
Is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday. A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
Consumer news, economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Okay, they are doing this in order for everyone in the country to be on the same page, to know exactly what you know, whoever you know, they will be able to regurgitate this to each other. Did you hear on the news? I heard on the news. It's going to be on your local news. It's going to be on your national news. Everyone is on the same page. This is why they do this. Did you hear? Yes, I heard. Did you see it in the paper? I saw it in the paper. Did you see it on the local news? I saw it on the local news. You can tell each one of these news stations is somewhere in the country of the United States.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year. Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year. Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year. Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step.
Okay, they are doing this so that everyone knows there's going to be an economic factor. Did you hear there's an I heard there was. Easter's they're doing this. They're doing this today. They were doing this yesterday. They've been doing this for decades.
Factors may take some of the spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year. Economic factors may take some out of the Easter Bunny.
Okay, the laugh track that was attached to this. Some people think it's funny. I don't think it's funny because a lot of people don't know what's going on. So if you know what's going on, you might think it's funny because people actually believe what's on TV. The tell a vision. This is an entertainment. News is entertainment. It's on 24/7 in order to entertain you. They tell you their vision of what's going on. So continue.
Mike Myers says, yeah, baby. Mike Myers says, yeah, baby.
Mike Myers says, yeah, baby.
Mike Myers says, yeah, baby. Mike Myers says, yeah, baby.
Mike Myers says, yeah, baby.
Mike Myers says, yeah, baby. Mike Myers says, yeah, baby. Mike Myers says, yeah, baby.
Mike Myers says, yeah, baby.
Mike Myers says, yeah, baby.
Mike Myers says, yeah, baby.
Mike Myers says, yeah, baby. Mike Myers says, yeah, baby.
Mike Myers says, yeah, baby.
Mike Myers says,
Yeah, baby.
Mike Myers says, yeah, baby. Mike Myers says, yeah, baby. Mike Myers says, yeah, baby.
Mike Myers says, yeah, baby.
Mike Myers.
How annoying. Have you ever flipped TV stations and you see a different newscaster from a totally different station repeating what you just heard? It really doesn't even matter what channel you watch. They're all going to tell you the same thing. So I say, no, baby.
Mike Myers says, yeah, 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 baby. Mike Myers says, yeah, baby. Mike Myers says, yeah, baby. Mike Myers says, yeah, baby. Did I say that right?
Talk show host Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late night television.
Conan O'Brien may be able to push the envelope on late night television. Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on television. Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late night television. Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late night television.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late night television. Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late night television.
I can tell you that there's a lot of us out there that have been pushing the envelope on the truth, on trying to bring you these facts that this is actually what's going on. We're pushing the envelope on the truth. Listen, it's regurgitated over and over.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late night TV.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late night television.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late night television.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope once again on late night TV.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late night television.
Conan O'Brien is looking to push the envelope on late night television.
May be about to push the envelope on late night TV. Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late night television.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late night television.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late night television.
Conan O'Brien may be push the
The show, Ice Cream, You Scream. You know the rest.
Ice cream, you scream, you know the rest.
Ice Cream, You Scream, you know the rest. Ice Cream, You Scream. Scream, you scream, you know the rest. Ice cream, you scream. Well, you know the rest.
Ice cream, you scream, you know the rest.
I'm going to stop it here, but I want you to see the whole video because ice cream, you scream. I don't think you really know the rest. And if you do, I hope you will share this information with everyone because this is the basics. This is what they do. from the smallest of stories to the largest of stories. They gain your confidence. We know what's going on. I scream, you know the rest. Hmm.
I scream, you scream, we all, well, you know the rest.
I scream, you scream, you know the rest. I scream, you scream, we all know the rest. I scream, you scream, you know the rest.
I scream, you scream, well, you know the rest.
I scream, you scream, you know the rest.
I scream, you scream, y'all know the rest of it, right? I scream, you scream, well, you know the rest.
I scream, you scream, you know the rest. I scream, you scream, and you know the rest. I scream, you scream, you know the rest. I scream, you scream, well, you know the rest. Well, I scream, you scream, well, I think you know the rest. I scream, you scream, you know the rest.
I scream, you scream, everybody knows the rest. I scream, you scream, well, you know the rest.
I scream, you scream, you know the rest. I scream, you scream, and you know the rest.
I scream, you scream, you know the rest.
Oh, that's funny. I find it scary.
Yeah, very scary. Okay, let's stop it right here. In 1983, 90% of American media was owned by 50 companies. In 2011, that same 90% is controlled by 6 companies. This has been going around for quite a while now, but I don't think anyone or everyone is paying close attention to who owns what. It's worth looking into. I mean, look, this is why they all repeat what each other is saying. Okay, so what this is saying is wake up. All media is owned by the same people with this.
Third time I've said that. I'll probably say it 3 more times.
Let's go back. Okay, so what this is saying is wake up. All media is owned by the same people with the same agenda. And the only reason these corporations are separate is because they legally cannot have a visible monopoly like they will in the near future. Pay attention.
Third time I've said that. I'll probably say it 3 more times. See, in my line of work, you got to keep repeating things over and over and over again for the truth to sink in. To kind of catapult the propaganda.
Catapult the propaganda. You say things over and over until it becomes the truth, till everyone is on the same page and everyone believes everything that's being said. To catapult the propaganda.
They thought you were running in circles 9 to 5 and 5 to 9. You're fine. I'm telling you what they want you to know. And you consider it the truth. Nobody is opening their eyes.
Okay. So this is from Odd TV. I definitely think that you should click the link below. I'm going to place this link there and watch it again and watch it with open eyes and definitely share it and share this and know that maybe you have a friend or a neighbor that has been trying to tell you this for a while and you're just like, no, how could it be? You need to really look and see that there's an agenda that has been perpetrated. It is out there. The people on the TV that are giving you the news, they are not your friends. They don't know who you are. They collect a paycheck. They read a script. They read a script. They don't They don't care whether it's the truth or not. They care about the paycheck. If they cared about the truth, they would stand up and tell you the truth. All right. So share, share, share. Odd TV. This was a really great video. From here on, we're going to start sharing more and more of the truth because there's so much out there that's being kept from you and from me. And I've been researching the truth now for over a year and a half. Um, Actually, my eyes have been open to it for quite a while. But when they lock you down and you have nothing to do but figure out what's going on, wow, it's an eye opener. All right. You guys have a really great day. Share, share, share. And I will talk to you next time.